Let's address the elephant in the room. I know you're probably looking around like this isn't his normal setup. I know we may not like it, but this is gonna be the new home for me and my recordings for a little while. But that does not mean YouTube should be the home for all these degenerate black ass creators who are making that degenerate content. Now, a while ago, we detailed how there was a seemingly ever-growing problem on the platform that is YouTube, Twitch, hell, anywhere that they were creating content, and it has something to do with people who are my skin color. It has to be brought back up because a lot more content is coming out, and a lot of other creators are coming out and putting light to these situations. Shout out to good friend of the channel, Cameron, for bringing this situation to light because it had to be touched on. And I think another friend, Think Peace Tribe, had something to say that was very much interesting and needs to be addressed in this conversation. Think Peace Tribe took to Twitter and commented on Cameron's video and said, "Why is all of black YouTube being associated with this?" And I think he misunderstood it or took things a little too personal in this situation. So first and foremost, I don't think that Cameron thinks that every single black content creator is like this. He goes on in his videos to talk about those content creators that are super positive. And we can talk about those all day. Those that range from various niches, cooking, car channels, tech channels, all these different things. But that does not mean we don't need to highlight those that are doing terrible content on the platform and they are giving people like us, black creators, a bad name. And yeah, we could talk about how all other races or ethnic background people have these sorts of conversations and do this sort of content and blah, 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 blah. But honestly, that's none of my business because right now, little RT is terrorizing the internet and he has the same skin complexion as me and we need to talk about it. So last time we were on this channel, we talked about how people were propping up little RT left, right, and sideways in their videos because they knew it would drive clicks, views, and traffic. You know, the 9-year-old hood rapper who took the media by storm with his very much egregious song about slanging this and doing that with this, that, and the third. I can't even get into it because it's pretty disturbing stuff for even somebody my age to be talking about, let alone somebody his age to be talking about. But a flyer had came out about little RT doing a 20v1, and we've seen little RT participate in 20v1s in the past, sadly. Now, those 20v1s included him being paired up with another content creator, helping that content creator make a decision as to what person they were choosing. Or there was that 20v1 where he was helping his mom choose a significant other. But this one was a little bit different. And what made this nasty is because we were left with some sort of cliffhanger. We thought it was little RT and 20 women. And so we thought it was disgusting that a lot of women were signing up for this in order to be paraded in front of this 9-year-old. But it only got worse because instead of it being women in this situation, grown-ups who can make adult decisions, which would have still been bad, it was 9-year-olds.
But they too tall for me.
But the other girl was tall though. But it's two of them though. It's two girls. You don't like that?
Who you working with? Okay.
What kind of sick person do you have to be when you see a dating show that you say to yourself, what if we made a kidified version of this? Especially with that nasty ass commentary that's going on right there.
Oh. Oh, RT, you was watching, right?
Now look, I don't think that there's anything wrong with kids dancing. Hell, I don't even think there's anything wrong with kids interacting with other kids. And I may even concede to some degree that there's nothing wrong with kids doing these things on the internet. Now, if you've seen Quiet on the Set, we might have to gauge what's right and what's wrong in that conversation. But nonetheless, I don't see anything inherently wrong with any of these. But when you combine all these elements together and use the concept of a dating show in order to have that be the platform that this content stands on, I think it's totally disgusting. I think little RT's mom is disgusting. I think the content creator involved is disgusting. I think the cameraman is disgusting. I think anybody reposting the clips is disgusting. And I especially think the moms or parents of these little kids are super disgusting for allowing their children to be a part of this content. Now look, I've dealt with kids putting on different productions for A&P before. And let me tell you, there's two types of parents. There's one parent who is very careful about the types of situations and things that their kid is involved with. They have their head always peeking around, seeing what's going on with the content creator or the actor or the director or the producer or whatever and their child. And then there's a whole nother set of parents who don't give a fuck about what's going on and they let anything happen, even if it's over sexualization, because they think that that's the thing that's going to lead their child to becoming a star. And what's crazy is they can't even discern what is a good content creator or what is a bad content creator. Somebody who actually has motion or somebody who doesn't have motion. Somebody whose numbers have meaning or somebody whose numbers are inflated by things like short form content or maybe a past collaboration or whatever the case may be. Like, why the hell would they think that it's okay for their daughters or kids to be dancing in front of little RT, auditioning themselves for him while a grown man is sitting there saying, "Ooh." And they might try to cop a lot of pleas by saying, "Oh, this video as of today has 1.9 million views on it." But we know as people who are on the internet that a lot of those people who viewed that content are either watching it as haters or people who are watching it in total disgust and are using it as to criticize the content creator in question. And there's some validity to that because we can see that the content creator in question cut the comments off on that video because they know that a lot of the things that were coming in were super nasty negative comments towards them, and rightfully so. I don't even know why there's this boom of people using Little RT, the 9-year-old hood rapper, as some form of content when the whole concept of a 9-year-old hood rapper shouldn't have even existed. And even beyond Little RT, there's this idea of sexualizing or sticking kids in these sexualized situations that is bothering me on the internet today and needs to be addressed.
How have you and my little brother been?
We don't really be talking like that, but when we do, it's cool.
You haven't been talking?
We don't really match each other's vibe like that.
If you talk to him, would that be wrong if you was to talk to me?
Yeah, 100%. You would feel comfortable if I kissed him and then I kissed you?
See, you can't ask me some shit like that.
I'm a nasty nigga.
Am I born or something? What the fuck? Trying to get serious with you.
No, I'm just hungry.
So I got something for you to eat.
Thank you. Let me eat it right now.
Nice. Back seat back there. I mean,
What? You trying to go to the back?
I'm trying to sit back.
A lot of these content creators use this veil of vagueness in order to get their content off, but their subtle attempts at alluding to what's going on aren't as subtle as they think they are. This person is clearly stating that this is his younger brother's crush time and time again, while we also know on his channel that he is a young person himself, which is alluding to the fact that she is either at the legal age of consent or below the legal age of consent. But all the while, it's just totally weird. And there's no way that he can hide the nature of what he's trying to do with that person, because throughout the rest of that video, and please watch it at your own discretion, they are doing nothing but sexualizing each other, whether it be real or play. It's all disgusting. What's even worse to me is that somebody who has accumulated 132,000 subscribers on his platform thinks that that's the way to go about making content. But I can tell him, I can tell other people like that you doing these titles, these thumbnails, this style of content is not going to continue to grow you or have you stay in the limelight for a long time. That's part of the reason why you and so many others can't get a consistent 5, 10, or 15,000 views while sitting with a high subscriber count, is because all of that salacious stuff dies down, the allure of it wears off in the long run. And you can't be doing it for the money, because a lot of this stuff has either a low RPM or it's getting demonetized. That's why you're pushing them to different platforms like Patreon, or you're having those fake Cash App schemes where you click this link and you get some affiliate link credit in your bio or in the video in order to get some sort of money from it. You're doing this for a pure dopamine rush, like smoking a cigarette for the first time. But just like a cigarette, after that first fleeting hit, you're chasing that high again and again and again, and you'll never get it, and you'll only do nothing but ruin your digital footprint in the long run. And I know it seemed like it couldn't get any worse, but there's this ever-growing trend that is beyond the whole sexualizing youth movement. I'm not here to compare apples and oranges and other sorts of fruits, but this one to me is the most disturbing. It's this idea of putting family member in some sort of sexualized situation.
And I'm asking like deeper and deeper. If I'm not talking about making money, then I'm asking you, what is you doing at work? So I'm starting to think that you selling cat.
Don't ever in your life ever play in my face like that.
I'm playing though, but come on though. So since we got time today, what you want to do today?
What you wanna do?
What's nasty about this is you can look in this person's comment section and see that throughout time, this character in this person's content has transformed from best friend, homegirl, stepsister, lesbian friend, cousin, all these other different characters, because all they're doing is chasing this, again, dopamine rush by saying, hey, this salacious content should intrigue you over and over again. And it's clearly not working, to the point that you are willing to even risk your brand identity by saying, hey, I'm somebody who involves in this action that a lot of people don't think is okay, because I think it can result in a lot of clicks, likes, and views. And yeah, it might be clickbait, but so what? Especially when we know how these algorithms on these social media platforms work, why would we even be wanting to put all these things out on the internet for a lot of people to consume? Especially because YouTube does stuff based off of facial recognition and identity and all this other stuff like that. Why, knowing that an algorithm that can take you from a Quan video where you're doing Hellcats and Trackhawks and you're collaborating in it to a video where you're kissing your cousin, why would you want to put that sort of content on the internet? And they know the type of content their former kid's self would see. Of course, this is stuff that's going to be intriguing because it's supposed to be a part of the forbidden zone, but it has all these colorful images and familiar faces in it. But why would you want to subject new kids to the stuff that you weren't supposed to see, the attempts to get views from like a 13-year-old audience? That's so weird to me. Now, over the past couple of years, a lot of platforms have been taking pornography very seriously, especially the ease in which people are accessing it. There are certain states like Texas, I I believe, in which when you access a site like Pornhub, you got to enter your ID in order to access that site. It's well beyond the are you 18 yes or no toward a verification. And I will say YouTube does do a job of putting some sort of age restrictions on these things, and sometimes they completely demonetize to de-incentivize people from being on these platforms. But I think that they could go a step further. Now, I don't think that they should be like X, who just allows whatever type of content on the platform or whatever the case may be, which is a whole bad idea for another set of reasons. I think that they should be more restrictive and de-incentivize these things, and videos in which people are doing cousin and cousin type of content should totally be off the platform. Because the problem with a lot of these algorithms is, again, once you get adjacent or caught up in the algorithm, then you're trapped down this rabbit hole. And if people know how to use keyword searches and SEO stuff, they know that they can just type in certain hashtag, and when people go to look up clips of Steph Curry or Asia Wilson or Kamala Harris or whatever person that they're looking for, they can make it so where you are driven to their pornographic sites. Hell, that's happened to me like one too many times for me to even count. Another reason why this type of content is so popular is because of how much we've normalized and memeified pornography culture. The jokes of stepsister caught in a dryer or any person caught underneath the pool table is honestly just another way of perpetuating these pornography plots. And now we live in a society where you can't even have normal relationships with people of the opposite sex without people thinking that something's going on. Thank God I don't have locks, because the relationship between loctician and the person that's getting their locks done, that shit is so toxic right now that people can't even be actual entrepreneurs and participate in this business because people are gonna overly sexualize you. So now you have a generation of horny individuals consuming content, and then even hornier content creators that are horny for not only the sex but also the money, thinking that this is the way that they can push themselves into this new realm. And ultimately it's to the detriment of both of them, but they can't even really see it. And what's crazy is these people aren't even really towing the line as much as some other content creators on the platform who are just putting out straight soft core pornography onto the platform.
Right there deep, son. Right there deep, son. Want to ride, they want to ride.
I don't even think that there's anything to really say about this. This isn't even content. This is just basically pornography. This is a step away from OnlyFans. Now, me personally, I think a lot of people should do better when it comes to creating their content, especially people of my skin complexion. We already know about the horror stories, and there's some validity to them about how Black creators are viewed on these different platforms, especially when it comes to branding and marketing. They don't look at us the same way as other content creators get looked at. So why would we be trying to put anything like this out there in the ethos? I have no idea. I have no problem with dating content. I actually like the Pop the Balloon show. And this is where me and Cameron are gonna differ here. I think Pop the Balloon is a very impressive game show that's on the platform because a couple of reasons. One, it's extremely authentic. Two, there isn't this attempt to get a whole bunch of salacious content out of it. These are people giving their real, raw, and rare feelings and interactions between humans who are looking to date and be with each other. And three, it looks like Arlette is really invested into putting a lot of money and backing into her production and ultimately her content. And it's shown over the time. I like how they have the original show, which shows how dating is in 2024, and then even the follow-ups from the successful matches that may or may not end up leading into successful relationships. Overall, it's a good concept of something that is in that dating and relationship sphere that has nothing to do with being over the top and over sexualizing anybody in these facets of the content. Ultimately, as Black people, we got to do better. And it doesn't start by learning STEM. It doesn't start by getting into real estate or generational wealth or taking care of what we eat or in the households or anything like that. It starts with making better YouTube videos. That means stop grabbing your cousin's booty, putting little RT in these videos, or fake getting head while you're on live stream. It's the last little RT video I'm doing.